The traditional distribution model is losing relevance as more and more customers opt for solutions which are built on a recurring basis, such as cloud platforms and software as a service. That's the lay of the land, according to channel commentator Jay McBain from Forrester Research in an article he wrote in February. But how is this playing out in the local market? And what do partners think of distribution and its importance to their business, particularly in a post-COVID environment? CRN interviewed a sizable cross-section of partners to see what their opinion is of disties. CRN 2020 Fast 50 number 14 TechFlow is a data center specialist based in Sydney. Its founder Shah Hardik said that distribution was now, for him, more relevant than it had ever been.
They are extremely important for us. I think the engagement with the distribution partners have become extremely involved over the last 18 months, where we are working in tandem with them on almost every opportunity, right? So we've become experts on certain topics, which is our core focus area, I guess. But there's many other projects that we need to deliver where we don't have in-house capabilities, and we would be heavily relying on those distribution partners so they can bring in skill set, they can bring in the right people to the table if we need to, and address the needs that are brought by the customer.
For Hardik, the traditional role of the distributor to fulfill orders in a timely manner is still vital, but a newer benefit has emerged over recent years.
But I think the engagement is changing now in terms of, instead of looking to a distributor and saying, okay, how much stock have we got and how much price can you give us? The engagement has now become, this is what the customer needs. What would be the best thing that we can deliver based on the current stock levels, based on the current price levels? I jump on a call every second day right now with distribution partners, where the discussion goes along lines of, we just had a container come in, or we just had a truck roll into the warehouse and we have got this much stock coming off, and this is what we can deliver right now, right? So it's extremely engaged relationship where, to deliver what we are able to deliver to the customers, to deliver on our service commitments to the customers, I guess, we need that nailed in really well.
He said COVID-19 changed the game for an entire industry by resetting the expectations of customers.
And I think, what the last 12 months have done is they've forced everyone to evolve with that. Now, some have and some haven't. And I guess the distributors which chose to evolve are going to keep maturing in that process with the service providers or reseller partners like us to keep delivering on the ongoing sort of customer expectations that we have set, right? So I think it's just, in a way, I think COVID has forced us to set the benchmark a bit too high in that sense. And now it's just going to be a responsibility for us to keep delivering on that benchmark, I guess.
For cybersecurity and software more broadly, there is a different trend emerging, as RSM cyber expert Ashwin Powell explains.
So, gone are the days where you could actually, as a vendor or a disty or an SI, you could go in and buy your mate a coffee and you could actually do a deal. Those days are well and truly over. Frankly, what they're looking at with all the three parties that I actually mentioned, because obviously they're all part of the supply chain, right, is value. You have to add value. They now expect you will understand my business. You will actually understand how you can add value to my business. So either, broadly speaking, technology-wise, how you can actually help me make more money, reach more customers and all that good stuff. Or from a cybersecurity perspective, how can you actually help me lower my risk as I actually, go online, do more business online, remote working and all that stuff that's been brought about, frankly, by COVID, where we're all stuck in our own homes. So very much actually about value, very much about understand my business and help me add value.
Powell says that in order to serve the customers better, distributors have added new capabilities we would not have expected from them in the past.
The disties are actually providing support in terms of personnel. So they're now carrying more professional services staff that you can lean on. They're carrying more kit, which, may sound like a small thing, but if you are, waiting for 3 months, especially in these COVID times for a piece of kit, but if the disty actually has spares, which they are actually keeping and make it available within 2 weeks, that could be the difference between winning a deal and not winning a deal. They are very much moving up the value chain. Gone are the days where the disty was basically giving you a piece of kit and charging you X%. Now, you can easily go back to the disty. They'll actually have somebody who knows the technology quite well. And you can almost use them as the first port of call with respect to answering questions around the technology before you go to the vendor.
So, distributors are now providing services which were once the exclusive purview of the vendor. For PAL, this opens up many more opportunities to sell new and emerging technologies.
Because there are so many technologies out there, for an SI to actually have specialists in every single technology is going to be near impossible. Up and coming vendors can't do it themselves. So disties are actually effectively filling that gap.
But it is not all sunshine and rainbows, because some distributors are now encroaching on the traditional role of a partner, as Jeff Augustus from Queensland Computers explains.
The trend we're seeing in disties is that they're trying to empower themselves as a services provider and a value-added reseller with things like cloud services, where, you know, once upon a time, companies like Ripe Global used to do a lot of work in their software as a service market. You're now seeing the Ingram Micro's, Tech Data's, Dicker Data's, all those really entering that market in earnest. I think the disties are struggling to adapt at the pace that the market's adapting. And I think the fact that they're having to build out teams and grow these services, I think it's for a traditional distributor who sells a lot of hardware and ships a lot of boxes and has really complex supply chains, I think the cloud's a little bit tricky for them. So you're right, as a service market evolves, they need to evolve with it. We have some great disty relationships and we have some terrible disty relationships, and we also have some great disty relationships and terrible relationships within the same disty based on the quality of human at the other end of our phone as a product manager. So we do definitely see that as when we have a great product manager within a disty, we can do amazing things. And when we have a terrible one, we can have nightmarish experiences. So I think the disties are going to get held a lot more accountable over the coming years. And I think they know that, and you can see a lot of them investing significantly in their reinforcement.
Augustus says that as in any industry, change is an essential and inevitable part of the process.
I think that the disties have to change. I think they know they have to change. I think the growing pains is how do they change? What it's going to come down to is the quality of the teams that they have, the humans, and the model and how they present that. We know disties have a lot of capabilities. There's a lot of Cisco specialists out there within disties that could build out a great requirement. But if they're not practical for my sales team to access, if they're not practical for our customers to access, we don't use them. And it's very often for us to do a really hard project where we maybe have stumbles and we have to look at things and reevaluate, only to find out at the end of that project that there was someone at disty that could have helped us with that. I don't think they do a very good job of showcasing their skill set to the marketplace. As a business, if we're going to sell into a government sector, you would expect that we can provide a capability statement. I think disties are struggling to do that, and probably mainly because of the rate of change they're going at. And again, the people that they want to hire are the same people everyone wants to hire at the moment. There is a shortage of people in that, let's say, cloud marketplace who have that specific skill set. So I don't necessarily think it's going to come down to the brand, the Ingram Micro, the Dicker Data, but it's going to come down to the humans that they put at the helm to execute those strategies.
He also expects to see them playing to their strengths, and said that this will manifest itself in a unique way for each distributor.
Ingram Micro move boxes like nobody else. They are pretty good with their logistics. They have large stores of stock in the country. They've got good warehousing. By contrast, someone like Tech Data is much more project and solutions driven. So if we have a client coming in and wants to buy 10,000 of a device tomorrow, we'll go straight to Ingram Micro. If we have a client coming in who wants to develop a strategy around their ongoing needs, we probably go to Tech Data. And we know those lessons by learning them the hard way, but I think that's going to be something you're going to see disties differentiate on. They're going to have a competitive, reason why you should deal with that disty. And as long as it's price, the service will never be good. And as people move further away from price, the service is going to stand out so much more, because once you take dollars out of the equation, I think that's going to be a big factor.
While across the board, partners are expecting to see distributors try and add more value through new offerings, the fact that all are evolving in different ways underpins the importance of multiple distribution relationships for partners. For more great insights from Pipeline 2021, visit crn.com.au.